righty, guys. Well, happy Monday to you. We have a lot of green out there in the stock market today. We're talking all the indexes are up well over 1%. We have to break down the indexes in this video and go over Sofi stock, which, guys, this is moving as well. We're up almost 4% on the day. We're trading in the mid-13s right now at about, 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast. So we have to break down the indexes, Sofi, the charts, what I'm doing. We'll dive into the options chain later in the video as well. But first, hit the like button. Do not forget to subscribe. And guys, get your 30 stocks from Moomoo. Deposit at least $100 using that link down below. You get 5 free stocks. Deposit at least $2,000. You get 25 more stocks, and your uninvested cash now will earn up to 8.1% APY. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a no-brainer, and the clock's ticking. You have literally less than a week to get these stocks, so use that link right down below, or again, go to starsurfest.com/Moomoo. And now, cheers, guys. Let's dive into it. So, man, what a great start to the week. You couldn't ask for more at this point, guys. We have the S&P 500. Let me run through these indexes before we dive into Sofi here, guys. SPY's up over 1.6%. You guys can see on the 4-hour chart now, we're playing between these moving averages like we talked about in the recent updates. And now it seems like, first of all, we're taking out the highs from last week, the week before that, and we're clearly filling this gap towards the 180 SMA, being at 580, 585 here on SPY. That's pretty clear on the 4-hour chart, right? And on QQQ, this is doing the same. We're up around 1.8, 1.9%, taking out the highs from last week and the week before, and clearly we're making our way up to 500 at this point, 495, 505. That is right at the 180 SMA on this time frame, and we're not fully breaking out yet. That's the reality. We're not fully breaking out yet, but we're getting dang close, man. We're getting dang close on these charts, which I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And on the Dow Jones, let me pull this up. Dow Jones is up 1.3% right now. This one's not above the moving averages on the 4-hour chart, but we are testing the 50 SMA right now, literally at about 42.5, 42.6. So keep your eyes there on the Dow today and for the rest of this week, for that matter. And the Russell is not breaking out of the 50 SMA either here on the 4-hour, but we're testing it. We're right there right now at about 2,100 points. If that breaks, guys, hey, 2,200, 2,250 could be the next spot we go based on this 4-hour chart. And going over here to Sofi again, like I said, we're up now about 3.5%, 4% on the day. We are at a critical spot on the chart. You guys probably remember I covered this in recent updates, and we're still on a downtrend on Sofi. You guys got to realize that, but we covered in recent updates how I see it trading, or I saw it trading in between these moving averages. We're still there on the 4-hour chart, and I told you guys, look, if we start pushing over 13, which now we are, right? I think we did a bit on Friday as well, or maybe that was Thursday. Either way, or Wednesday, whatever. But now that we're pushing 13, it's pretty clear now we're pushing to this 180 SMA resistance at about 1350.60, right, on the 4-hour chart. And that's the moment of truth spot for Sofi. We can see we're right at the top of this channel on the 4-hour time frame. You guys see right here. So technically, this could be a lower high. It could be, right? As we've seen this happen a couple of times over the last couple of months, right? We've gotten to the top of the channel and we've gotten rejected. So it could be a lower high. But man, if we start pushing over $14, $13.75, right, into the 14s, this could break out for sure, right? If it starts confirming the pop, which we haven't done it yet. So I'm going to set my alert at $14 per share. And you guys obviously know I'm long SoFi. I own shares. I've been in the stock for a while. You guys know that. Started buying in the $5, $6, $7 window. And now I'm actually looking at selling covered calls potentially, which is why I want to come over here to the options chain and show you guys kind of what's going on there. So let me pull this up quickly right here, guys. And while I'm doing this, make sure to join the free email list. That is linked down below. I send out my top stocks every single week for free. All you have to do is put your first name and your email address. So, guys, make sure to do that. It's a no-brainer. A bunch of value for free. So, earnings are coming up on the 28th. That's very important here, guys. I don't want to be in covered calls around earnings. The date here is in about a month, so we have some time. And the reason is because I don't want necessarily to, have my shares called away if the stock goes bananas after earnings, right? So we're going to keep that date in mind here, April 28th, and we're going to see what we got before that date here on the options chain. So we have March 28th, which might be a little bit too soon. That's 4 days away. The premiums are, pretty low for that, so we're not going to be messing with the March 28th. So let's see, maybe April 18th, or April 11th, which is in 18 days. Let's see how these are looking, the premiums. So SoFi is at $13.37 right now. And honestly, the 1450s are not looking too bad here on the 11th of April, 23 cents. So let's say, for example, you have 1,000 shares of SoFi. You want to make a little money in the meantime here, in the next 2 weeks by really just putting up your shares for collateral or as collateral. Let's say you got 1,000 shares, so you can sell 10 contracts. Remember, one contract is 100 shares each. Boom. You guys see this number right here? Let me actually make my big old head a bit smaller. There we go, guys. You guys see this right here? $230. That's your credit, right? That is the money that you will get in your brokerage account, whether it's Robinhood, Fidelity, whatever. Or Moomoo. I just use Robinhood here for the visual of it. I don't actually trade on Robinhood, guys. But this is what you would get, $230. And if SoFi were to go to $14.50 or higher, right, on or before that date or by expiration, right, you would have to give up your shares at that price. That's the risk here, but you keep the premium. So for me, that seems a lot more reasonable, or, it seems like a better idea than trying to, maybe do May covered calls, because that's after earnings. The last thing I would want to do is miss out on the potential upside post earnings, if we even get upside post earnings, because again, the main risk with covered calls, guys, is your upside is capped at that strike price, on the shares that you have, that you have as collateral in the trade. But obviously, I'm not going to sell covered calls on all my SoFi shares, just some of them, right? So I'm thinking about these 1450 April 11th calls, right? If we go out to, let's say, April 25th, so that's a month, so that's right before earnings. The premiums are a lot juicier, right? If you sell, the $14 calls, which, we're at $13.37 right now, guys. You got to be a little careful. 14 is pretty close, but let's say, for example, right, for the sake of this video, let's say we wanted to sell the $14 calls that expire on April 25th, so about a month. We would get this credit right here. Do you guys see that number, right? 10 contracts, $560. Not bad, not bad. And I told you guys, look, if you have a big portfolio, it doesn't even have to be ridiculous, it doesn't even have to be hundreds of thousands or $1 million, $2 million. It doesn't have to be that crazy. Let's say you have some money, right? 100, 200, 300, whatever, even, 50, 60, 75K. You can make a decent amount per month, right? Just doing this, rinsing and repeating, right? Doing the wheel strategy, selling covered calls on stocks that you own, that you already love. that you've built up over time. It's not the best idea to buy any old stock, even if you don't like the company, just to sell covered calls on it. That's another trap a lot of people fall into, because the stock price would go down sometimes if you do that, or if the stock price goes down and you don't believe in the company, you're like, oh man, I'm stuck with this stock now. I'm down on it just because I wanted to sell covered calls. Don't do that. But if you do this strategically, guys, you can make some money. You can make some good, more passive. I mean, it's not super passive. You got to be kind of on top of it. Not like crazy, but you have to manage your options, right? But if you want to make some extra money, man, in your portfolio, you can even pull this out and take your wife out for a dinner. You could go spend the money if you want. This is a great way to do it. But realistically, man, I'm not going to sell the $14 calls a month out. If anything, I'd do $15 for 28 cents times 100, so about $28 in premium per contract. That's what I would consider. Maybe April 17th. Let's pull these up and see where we're at. Yeah, $15 calls, for 20 cents here times 100, so you're getting $20 per contract. So that's per 100 shares you own. You can get $20 in premium there for the $15 calls with the April 17th expiration date. So you have to, play with it yourself, see what, first of all, what your average cost is in SoFi, figure that out, and always pick a strike price above your average cost, right? You don't want to sell covered calls. Let's say you're in at $16. You don't want to sell covered calls for $14, right? You don't want to be underwater or sell the ones that you're going to be underwater on if they do get assigned, or if you do have to give up your shares, because then you lose money automatically on the shares. So that's a little update there, guys, kind of what I'm thinking about right now. What do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But either way, man, on a day like today, I'm excited. Great green day, and this is a great day to potentially sell covered calls. Not telling you guys what to do, but if you think that maybe we're going to see some resistance, maybe some sideways trading, even a bit of a sell-off here, which historically, looking at the chart over the last couple of months, we've gotten hit here time and time again at the top of this channel. So we are a bit overbought as well. Now might not be a bad time to consider selling some calls as those premiums have come up, as the stock has come up, bringing those premiums up, right? So it's an interesting time. Let's just say that, and I'll keep you guys updated. I post all my updates on Patreon. Shameless plug. Feel free to check it out. Linked down below. We post all the portfolio updates there on the Patreon portfolio. So yeah, with that being said, smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe. And don't forget to get your 30 stocks from Moomoo. Deposit at least $100. You get 5 stocks. Deposit at least $2,000. You get 25 more stocks, guys, totaling 30 stocks, and your uninvested cash now will earn up to 8.1% APY. So guys, if you want 30 free stocks, you have less than a week to do it, and you want to help out the channel, check out that link down below, or simply go to stasurfest.com/Moomoo. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you guys in the next video.